1 second here. Play the intro. All right, we're live. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. My name is Sean. I'm a returning citizen here at Wings for Life International. This is Wings Week in Review. And today I got a great guest, Gary Penington. Penning. That's right. How much Pennington? He did 33 years in prison, guys. He's been out quite a while. He's done a lot with his life. He's turned it all around. He's going to tell you all about that. First, Eden Phil Sweet, the founder of Wings for Life International, is going to tell you a little bit about what happened around here this week. Give you a quick update. I'll give you Ann.
Hi, everybody. Well, actually, this was a slower week. Well, it actually was not a slow week. It was a slow start of the week because we had Memorial Day. But the next day, we had meetings down at the city of Albuquerque with their planning committee to learn about planning and how they allocate funds for properties, because I think I've shared this in the past, but I'll share it again. Our New Mexico legislators this year have allocated $1,222,000 to us for a new building. So we need to find a building. We need to find a building that will house our offices, our Wings Works, all the extra programming that we want to do. And we're looking at 6 to 10 to 50,000 square feet. So that we won't get with $1 million, but we're going to be looking. So I went to city the planning meetings. Then I had a meeting with one of our state representatives, Melanie Stansbury, yesterday with a bunch of other collaborators. There were 10 of us. And they are all housed directly in the International District. That's the Southeast Heights of Albuquerque. And we are not housed there directly, but of course we work with people all over the state and the world. So it doesn't matter if we're not housed there, and who knows, maybe our new building will be there. But we want to collaborate with them as we collaborate with everybody. So that was a very powerful meeting. And she is going to help us to try to find any access to federal funds, perhaps try to find funding for a grant writer to write a big grant for collaboration for all of us. So that was a very powerful meeting. Then this morning, we had people right here in our very office sitting at this very table from the city of Albuquerque Economic Development Department. And again, we shared our Wings Works model with them, the opportunity with $1,222,000 for the building. And they are going to help us again. They work for the city of Albuquerque, but they are all about getting jobs for people and creating better economic development, which is exactly what we're trying to do, and trying to help people to cut crime and be very successful like Gary and like Sean. So anyway, that's what we've been doing this week. Now, this coming Monday, you are definitely going to want to join our Wings for Life. This will be by Zoom. Now, through June, we are only going to have our Zoom meetings starting July 11th. Wow. Watch out, because we are going to be doing Zoom, live Facebook, and we are going to be in person. And just this afternoon, about an hour ago, I got a call. We've got some dancers that are coming here from Peru. At Peru, a team of 8. And 2 adults that will be traveling with them. They are going to do dancing for our first night at Wings for Life Live. And so they will be there. Then we've got a church group. People are coming here to do mission work, New Mexico, number 1 or 50, sometimes on the wrong side of that scale. I still choose to live here because I still love New Mexico, but some of our scales show us that we are mission opportunities for church people. So we're going to have, for the next 4 weeks in July, we're going to have different church groups from Florida, Texas, Connecticut, and where else? I think several from the Texas area are going to be coming to our meetings, and they're going to be learning about Wings for Life, learning about incarceration, why it's so important that we help the families and we help the returning citizens. So, but this Monday, we have a very famous actress, Diane McBain. She starred with Elvis in a couple of Elvis's movies. She had a very brilliant career, and then she was was and still is a very attractive woman. And I've read her book. I haven't met her in person, but I have read her book. And then because of the old days, prior to Me Too, that was only a couple years ago, but way back when she was in movies, way back in the 50s and the 60s, it was very common that the producer said, I want you to do whatever, and you had to do it. And she had an attempted rape, and she reported that producer, which ended up really stalling her career. She's continued doing movies and things, but because she spoke out against that culture.
Back then when you spoke out, you didn't get the same result you do today.
You don't get the results that you have now today. And even now today with Johnny Depp and all of that, who knows what's going to happen. But at least people are aware that you don't behave like that in the workplace. And so she's going to share her story. And I'm very excited about her joining us and be able to hear how she has survived all these years. And she has taken this issue on as kind of a platform for her. And so now she'll be speaking at our Wings for Life meeting. And that will be Zoom, 6:00 Monday evening. And so I hope you will join us for that, because that's going to be very powerful talk. So we also have 5 new interns that are joining us that will be doing internships with us through CNM, Central New Mexico, one of our community colleges here. We, of course, have people every week doing
community service
that are coming in.
One of them will be a guest in a couple of weeks.
Yep. And so this is a very, very busy place. So I'm glad you're with us today. I'm glad you have the opportunity to learn from Gary. Gary has been with us really since you first came out of prison. And now, of course, he's been on our board for so many years and helped us in so many ways. And he's done work at my house. He was one of the, I was one of the first to say, hey, Gary, come to my house.
He was.
And, because if I trust people, then I could say, hey, look, he came to my house. I recommend him. And when Gary first started, I don't know if he'd say this, so I will say this. He used to say, pay me what you think I'm worth. And if people gave him $1 an hour, he took it. Did he grumble? No, he took it. Now he's making far more than I make per hour, and is very successful. And we're just thrilled that he's doing so well. So I'm going to turn that over to Sean and to Gary, because you all want to meet Gary and find out how he has become so successful.
I'm going to talk to Gary. Just 1 minute. I need to do a shout out. Mike and Monica Justice was the last name. So they donated almost their whole household. I guess their father passed away.
Well, no, he's in hospice, but had to move from his
father's in the hospice, and he had
all the stuff from his hospice.
And they just donated almost everything you could think of. Mike and Monica, God bless you. Thank you very much.
Well, and thank you to all the other people, because for once we turned the camera, you can't see all the boxes in our office, but we are overflowing. In fact, if you're here in Albuquerque and you have a big space indoors, we need a space for a yard sale, because we just can't simply store as many things as we have anymore. So we are going to have a big, huge yard sale that'll help us clear out some things and then also raise some funds for us. So that's important. So we will have a yard sale.
And if you are in need and you live in Albuquerque and you don't have any money, show up at the yard sale and we'll make sure you won't leave empty-handed.
If somebody comes and they need something,
so you just show up. We'll take care of you.
Yeah. So anyway, now I'm going to turn it back. Okay.
And I do got a few people in the room. I'll say hello to you guys. Then we're going to talk to Gary.
Any questions for me?
T.R. Keesing. We know who that is. That's Tom.
Hi, Tom.
He says good afternoon. Kathy D. She's in Australia.
Hey,
she watches us every week. Her son's in prison. Once he got 7 years left to go, maybe. TJ is going to prison soon, but he's only doing. Oh no, he's not. He got probation and home confinement.
Oh, fantastic.
Remember him? We thought we were going to get 6 months. That's right. Yeah, so he doesn't have to go to prison, but he's going to have an ankle bracelet and be at home.
And keep listening here and to our programs, TJ, and we'll help you, because we don't want you going to prison. That ankle bracelet is a good thing to be wearing.
And Matthew's a regular, and TJ and Katrina. Hi, Katrina. How you doing?
Katrina.
And
Hi, Katrina.
I know she had some news on her side. I think they finally designated her son out of the county holding tank and all that. So I think that's everybody. We'll talk. You guys have any questions for Gary? Put them on the screen. We'll read them. So I want to introduce Gary. Now, I'm just getting to know him. He did 33 years in prison. I think you've been out 11 years now.
Yes, yeah.
And he's really turned his life around. He's telling me today about people that are leaving him keys to their house. And he does. Gary, why don't you just introduce yourself, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, Gary Penington. Like I said, after I was released from Oklahoma, I moved here because my family had decided to move here. My brother lived as a doctor in Santa Fe, and my sister lived in Rio Rancho, and Albuquerque seemed the area where they all had just migrated in a good term. So they came here, and when I moved here, I think, what do you want to do? And the responsibility is showing up on time. Well, after 30 years of working at maintenance, and I thought
Maintenance in the prison, you mean, right?
right.
And you did all your time in Oklahoma?
All the time in Oklahoma. I did maintenance. I taught school. I worked in the garden, did the greenhouse, and a lot of different programs as they moved me from one facility to the other. And my sister said, well, Gary, what can you do? I said, well, just about anything. And I realized that I had done so much maintenance that I could just about fix everything that other people thought was difficult.
So when the prison plumbing went out, you were the guy when...
Well, I was with them.
You
Because
were
I
with them.
usually did the carpentry work, but I was with the plumbers and I was with the electricians. And finally, I got an opportunity to go to Construction Trades Academy.
Now that's through the prison?
Through the prison, the legislature had approved money to actually train long-termers. I was doing a life sentence, and they actually trained us because we were going to be at the prison a long time. So we went through carpentry.
So
plumbing,
it was worth
bricklaying.
it for them to invest in training you.
They
Okay.
invested in a year and a half in our training, bricklaying, carpentry, and so we would continue to work at the maintenance while we were there. And it was a great opportunity to learn a lot of different skills.
Now, did the correctional officers treat you a little better because you're helping keep the prison going, or
No,
any special privileges, or
no,
Shawshank Redemption, buy you a case of beer? And
no, there wasn't any of that. The thing I did learn, you get up, you do your count, you go to breakfast, you come back, you do another count, you go to work, and you have to get everything done by a certain time because you're going to lunch and you have another count. And after that, you have to work really fast and as you can to get done for going back for another count. So we didn't get any special opportunities, no special food or anything like that. We were allowed to have a couple extra pair of pants and maybe a couple extra pair of socks
okay,
because we weren't getting to the laundry as often as everybody else was.
did they
But
pay you? Did you get 12? I got 12 cents an hour when I was in the prison. Did
I
you
didn't
get paid
work by the
anything?
hour. When I first started on maintenance, I was making $3.20 a month.
A month.
$3.20, and I slowly worked up to when I was teaching school, I was making about $30 a month. Of course, they're keeping 20%.
So tell me about teaching school now. You're teaching inmates, or you're teaching kids on the outside?
No, I was teaching.
I know you taught kids how to swim on the outside while you were in prison.
Right. I
We
had
can get to that.
all right. No, I was taking the college classes and volunteered to work at the school, and finally just got a job at the school.
What do you say, the school? An outside school?
No, they had a school inside the prison
Okay.
that you could go to, and then everybody took it. And the young people under 21 is mandatory that they went
Okay.
to the school. Anybody over that could get on a list and go and get their GED. And I helped about 300 people during that time. But I taught math, English, science, and social studies. And on Fridays, we kind of played around, and I did brought some tax papers, and we showed people how to fill out their income taxes. And some days we'd do
That's what I went to prison for.
we would do blueprint
You don't want me
reading.
teaching that class.
We would do blueprint reading, so they would have something a little bit extra on the side. But math, English, and science, social studies, just to get ready for a GED.
Okay. All
I
right.
did get the opportunity, as you mentioned, at one facility to
You started working on outside the prison,
I
right?
started volunteering to go plant trees and cut grass and things because I was doing a long term. I could only do it on a volunteer basis and had to keep the job inside.
No, I'm surprised they let you go outside of the bounds. Now, I was at a prison camp, but everybody had less than 10 years, so they did let them go to the city and the parks to work. But on a life sentence, I'm surprised they gave you that, that clearance.
Well,
How did you get the clearance?
we about half of the 600 people that lived at this facility were long termers, had to work their way down the system and got backlogged there because since we weren't able to progress on out, we were all stuck at that facility. So about 300 people at that facility were doing life sentences or a long time, 30 years or more. One governor did come in and decide, I don't want that anymore. And in the middle of the night, shipped us all back behind the fences one year.
Nice.
And so
Nice
after
guy.
is being there and having jobs, like I said, teaching swimming lessons to kids, CPR, Red Cross, and all the community. It was shocked to be transferred behind the razor wire overnight.
Yeah, that's a whole. I mean, that's got to hurt you here too. You know,
It just changes
your
your
pride,
attitude
your
towards
ego.
things.
I mean, it's got to chip away at it somewhat, especially in prison.
All of us was there working without fences, and we were trying to do our best to work our way home. Then when you get sent back without any rule infractions, it's kind of aggravating.
Did anyone ever try to escape when they had these privileges?
Not on our cruise, none of our guys,
That's
because
good.
one of us, when you went, one of us, we did our own. We would assign a guy to stay with the new guy and convince him not to do anything stupid while he was with us to screw it up. If he wanted to run off on his own from the facility at night, that was his business.
Yeah, you do it on your time.
He didn't do it on our time because
Yeah.
one of the long termers stayed with the new guy, especially the young kids. We stayed with them, so
Yeah, I know how that goes.
it was this opportunity.
Yeah, I had the chance to leave my prison camp and go work at a different prison, the ADX Supermax. But an inmate would drive us over there, and they just leave us by the side of the road, and we could walk around until they called us in, and then we cooked for like the Unabomber and El Chapo and all those guys were there. So I worked my way up from a dishwasher to the cook. But during that time, when you leave the prison and go work, even though we're working in another prison, you got that freedom.
Yeah.
Not, and then at night you go back to your,
Yeah.
It's almost like you feel part of the world again because you're working. Did you get that feeling like you're actually productive?
It's the same attitude that I've kept since I've come home, because the three things that I learned when I was in the Junior Chamber of Commerce was you need to take part in worthwhile programs, and you need to really look to fulfill a need for personal growth while you're there, and to contribute to society. Because one of the things I've learned, especially through Wings, if you contribute to society and you show the people that you can help them and you can help the members of the community, you help yourself, you help your family, those people will respect you a lot more. They begin to trust you a lot more because you're putting effort in, not to yourself, but to helping others. And the trust that I've gained in the business and about 400 customers that I have comes from they know that I'm not going to screw up again, because I've already proven myself to them that I, don't lie and I don't steal. And the opportunity that they give me is me contributing to society, and it's volunteering for.
But you started doing this in prison. You started building up trust. In prison, you started contributing to society. All these things you did while you're incarcerated.
Exactly.
So it's no wonder when you got out, you had made this personality, this character inside of you had already been developed while you did your time, right?
The minute you go in, if someone's going in or someone that's going in, you tell them they need to start planning on their release. That means taking as many courses as they can, getting education if you can, and if the family can support them or if they can get grants or anything like that to get an education. Because I came out of prison with 2 bachelor's degrees and a degree in architectural design. And the prison didn't pay for a penny of that. I just saved my money, and the family sent a few dollars here and there, and I just put it all together and paid for it myself. It was pretty cheap back in the 80s to go and to get your associate's degree and then finally, like I said, the bachelor's degrees. But you need to be planning that when you come home, what you want to do. My jobs that I want, the people I want.
We got people watching right now that are preparing to go to prison, believe it or not.
Well,
you guys listen to Gary here.
I enrolled in correspondence courses while in jail before I got to the prison.
I've heard you can do that. You do it beforehand, right?
And I had them start sending them in because and believe me, correspondence courses are a lot harder than the regular telecommunications courses that some prisons offer. And they're a lot harder because there's so much more paperwork, but it's worth it if you can learn anything and take the opportunity while you're there. If you work in the kitchen, then you know how to prepare food, and you come out and you can work at a big restaurant. If you work at a garden and you have the garden coming by every day watching you, you will be an excellent landscaper when you come out and you apply that skill. So
there was an auto shop at my prison, and there's cars are always breaking down. They always need an auto mechanic.
Practice your skills because you're working there, and the prison's paying for all the bills. And if you break something on a car, they'll buy another piece and you fix it. You'll learn not to break it when you're here working for yourself.
Yeah.
So
utilize
the time to develop a skill, and that's what I wanted to do.
But not only did you develop it, and then you taught it to other guys, right? And you had new guys, I guess, coming into prison Were you once you developed your skills like as plumbing and electrician and all that? Were you training guys in the prison?
I always had young guys come in and they would learn. You know, a lot of people come in, and since I did mostly the carpentry work, a lot of the guys would be afraid of the table saws, or they'd be afraid of the router. And I'd teach them how to build push sticks and different things, guides to protect your hands and protect your fingers, wear your eye protection and things like that. So things were safer. The electricians taught me those things about that, and the plumbers taught me how to, do that. And so we all trade the skills back and forth. So that when we were kind of turned into a jack of all trades right there.
And being an ex-inmate, I would listen to you more than I would listen to the correction officer as far as safety and all that, because I know that you would actually care about me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
when you're teaching them how to use the skill saws and all that,
Yeah.
I mean, they were lucky to have you.
Some of the places we did just about all the maintenance. We did, and it was a great thing that I took it. And of course, I planted gardens on the side, and I worked at the churches. And it was a big opportunity to get in and help a lot of people through different ways.
Right. Now, when you first went to prison, did you have an out date, or did you just have to go to parole hearings and hope to get paroled, or how did that work?
In Oklahoma, a life sentence considered 45 years. So you didn't see a parole advisor for the first 15 years. And then Oklahoma passed a law that they would review you every 3 years after that. So it took a long time before anybody would even look at your paperwork. The thing was, I believed in writing letters and keeping in touch. So if someone's getting ready to go, they want to hear from you. And if they don't write a letter, if someone's on the outside, still write them a letter and convince them to communicate with you and share with you. Because I wrote 3 letters 5 days a week for about 30-some years.
Wow.
And I kept in touch. And it paid off because one of my friends became the Speaker of the House of Representatives. One of my friends became President Pro Tem of the Senate. And finally, one of my friends became governor of the state of Oklahoma. And it was Mary Fallon who I asked to review my paperwork. And she reviewed my paperwork and told them to send me home.
Really?
So all those people that I was writing to from childhood just kept working their way through politics. And I was still in touch with them through those years. And if I had not taken time to write to them, I would have lost touch and they wouldn't have known who I was.
Wow. You hear that, guys? I wrote a lot of letters too, not to politicians, but
they weren't politicians when I started.
I had family members I owed amends to. I went to prison and you hurt everybody, and I wasn't always the best cousin or relative. So, but I wrote about 30 letters a month every day, at least one person, and they didn't always write back. It might be maybe 6 months later, I might get a 1-paragraph letter from my cousin Joe, but it was a loving letter. Yeah. And today I got my half of my family's in my life. Those ones I wrote on my dad's side. And it means a lot when you get out to, making those amends. All I can do in prison is the only way I can make amends is write letters. I didn't have any other resources.
And you come out and you go in there with set your goal, what you want to do, and try to improve yourself. And I came here and the people started bidding on my services.
Yeah, let's talk about that. When you first got out, you handyman. I don't want to really use that word, but you put yourself out there with $10 an hour.
Yeah,
you said?
I if they asked me how much I charged, I told them $10. Loads of the people, I just told them, I give you an honest day's work. You give me an honest day's pay.
Did you put an ad on Craigslist, word of mouth, signs on the telephone pole? How did they find you?
The first lady was the neighbor next door, came and said, Gary, your brother-in-law said you as a carpenter, can you come in? And I wanted to take all the cabinets out of my kitchen. The remodelers are coming.
Now, what did you do for tools when you got out? Did you have any tools?
No, I didn't have any tools to start with. Just had my brother-in-law had a few tools, and I started slowly collecting them and buying them. And the lady came back in about 5 hours and was mad because I was sitting on the porch, and she said, "I'm paying you to work." I said, "Lady, I've been done an hour. I've just been sitting here waiting on you."
Yeah.
And so then it started from there, and I was asked to join a business networking group. The Roadrunners here in
the Roadrunners.
We're called the Business Roadrunners Group.
All right. And
they share about $1 million, $2 million a year business. And so it's just a great opportunity to meet so many people. And I have a big collection of tools. I bought a Ford F-250 and I now have a house with a garage to put the stuff in.
A wife?
And no, my girlfriend.
Oh, girlfriend. Okay. Well, you have loved one in your life.
Yeah, sometimes it's
significant other.
Sometimes she considers it a wife. Sometimes she considers a girlfriend. I let her make that decision of what she's called. So
maybe one day, right?
And I'm telling you, it helps to volunteer. I was driving down the road, and a pretty lady was beside the road working, and I stopped and asked her if she wanted help. That's 10 years ago. So she said yes, she wanted help. So that was fortunate that I met Miss Carla.
That's getting better. Okay.
Driving down the road to work, and she looked like she was struggling pulling trees. And I said, Miss, do you want help? And she said, yes. So I stopped and helped her. And it turned into fixing this and fixing that. And, you know, then her son started calling me to fix this and fix that. And I just made it good with the family. And I wouldn't take money for pay, so it turned into take me to lunch, take me to dinner.
That's a character you already built up while you were in prison. You worked on yourself. You came out like already a trusting soul. Yeah. But of course, now you got to earn your trust on the outside. You earned it on the inside. And I know you've earned it now, 11 years. How many years after, how long did you feel that people trusted you when you first got out of prison? How long did it take to feel inside that, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
But the idea of, when I think I started coming to Wings and meeting people that trusted you right away. And one of the things that my friend Tony emphasized his whole time I've been around Tony and Diane Davis was that they said, you hang around good people and good things happen. So you're only hanging around good people. And the first thing he said, well, if you could work for Tony, you could work for me. And if you could work for Lana, you could work for me. And it just started off that all these people would say, well, if you could work for this realty company, then we want you to work for us. And if you could work for this mortgage company, then we want you to work for us. And so by hanging around good people, other good people came and it just progressed from there. So it's a great opportunity. Just good people, hang around good people and good things happen because those good people will set up time to trust you. And other people are always suspicious because there's people in their life who already may have harmed them in some way and they have, trust issues. So
there's always going to be people out there suspicious of you, of me, of every. I can't do anything about the way they react to me, but I can do something about the way I react to them.
You get a personal relationship with your customers, and then one day you just tell them. And I've told some of the most outstanding citizens here in Albuquerque, I said, I did 33 years in prison. I appreciate you giving me this job, and I just want you to know that. And their response is, okay, can you come next Wednesday?
Yeah, there you go.
They're not like, oh, well, we'll have to think about this. No, they're like, when can you come again?
Right.
And I've met some really nice realtors that they just on me and they tell me, Gary, you need to charge more. And now I've worked for some of the big companies here and they're paying me 5 or 6 times what I originally started asking. And they set the price.
Well, but all in God's way, you earned all that. You built that up. You deserve that today.
It's a great opportunity because I now have a nice little ranch house that I just love and a truck and a little hot rod that I bought and girlfriend. And since I had COVID, I now decided I'm going to go travel and go someplace every couple of weeks here in New Mexico. So it's been time to enjoy my old age.
Got a guy on here, Harvey Talks Prison. He did, 30-something years in Missouri State prisons, and he's got a YouTube channel now.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to show Gary how to get a YouTube channel going, or you can do like a repair channel, something like that.
I think the repair would be the most interesting one. I'm thinking about doing a fishing one too.
Oh, a fishing one there.
I started fishing, but a lot of people, I always talk a lot when I'm helping the people and explaining about wiring and explaining about loads and pressures and downlifts and uplifts and why something's put together a certain way. And I think the YouTube channel will just benefit because there are a lot of people on YouTube at the end of their video will say, well, I really never done this before. So you got to be careful. So you want somebody who has the experience to guide you through.
Oh, yeah. Something's wrong with my car. I go to YouTube to see how to fix it. Anything breaks in my house or outside, I go to YouTube to watch how to fix it.
Right.
And to find it. And I got a feeling you're going to make a great channel. So,
right.
And you got the camera equipment, you got all that. You got a woman there to film it for you while you're holding the tools. because I wanted to start a cooking channel, but you almost need a second cameraman there.
Yeah.
But you got her to help you with that. So.
My cooking, only thing I cook is pumpkin pie.
Okay. All right. Let me catch up on the comments here,
Sure.
Gary, and we'll see if we got some questions for you and stuff. So I got all the hellos there. And TJ says, sounds like a good time. Wow. Katrina says, trying to cheat my son out of FSA, that's First Step Act credits, because his conviction had been overturned and he served a lot of his time inside the BOP and he did programs. But they are all saying that he was pre-trial. That's not the first time I've heard that. So the First Step Act is a federal act that allows you to earn credits to go home early, basically.
Sure.
But her son has been held in like detention before they sent him to prison for so long. Anyways, they're trying to cheat him out of that. I'm sorry to hear that, Katrina. Kathy, that's so wrong, Katrina. That's the lady in Australia. Yes, mad because his 23 years turned into only 7 because thankfully the appeals court saw that he was not guilty of all the serious charges. Yeah, her son appealed his case while he was locked up. So what they did was, you know what diesel therapy is?
No.
That's where you go from one bus to detention, shackled here to Oklahoma City, shackled to this other detention. They move you around.
I've been on that.
They move you around for like, I think 2 years. They did this to her son.
My brother worked at Con
They
Air.
call it diesel therapy. It's their way of punishing you for beating your case.
Yeah, my brother worked at Con Air, believe it
Oh,
or not.
okay, yeah.
And the federal airplane transportation in Oklahoma City.
Okay. Oh, the Con Air, and we know us feds know all about that. Harvey says hello, everyone. He's the guy that from the Missouri. Harvey's another guy. He's turned his life around. He devotes his channel to helping the young guys not go to prison, and he's got a positive prison channel. It's not one of these. There are prison channels out there where there's a guy covered in tattoos. He's going to tell you how to make a shank and how to make pruno and how to do all the bad things. And you know what? It's unfortunate. They some of them have 1 million subscribers.
Sure.
But
People like that.
me and Harvey, we're not about that. Are we, Harvey?
No tattoos.
Look at that. See, 33 years in prison. I have none either, guys. You just because you go to we don't.
At the bottom.
I'm going to get to all of them. Kathy D. Hi, Harvey. Kathy and Katrina. Hey there. Harvey says, 29 years. That's what it was. Well, not 30. Yeah. He did 29 years in prison, and that makes a difference. And Kathy D says, Gary, how did you stay positive during your sentence? Was it helping others that got you through?
But that's one of the key things is that you helping someone else all the time, and it really helps you. There are moments when that you're angry because the people won't listen, and there's many days that you wake up early or you go to bed late, laying there thinking what you could have said to somebody, what you could have done in situations throughout your life that would have made things better for either them or yourself, what you could have said to the judge, what you could have said to old friends that would have made your friendship last. And it's hard as the time got longer and I got older, it was hard to stay positive because there were so many bad things starting to happen in the facilities as they become overcrowded. And bad things were starting to happen a lot. And it's really hard. I exercise a lot. I stayed playing the sports when we had the opportunity to be out. And staying in school and setting goals for myself, that was important.
Yeah, I know we were talking about those times you get a new warden. He wants to take the weight pile around. He wants to take it away. They do lockdowns. They do searches. They do all these things, stop you from going to your job in the town. And, it just kind of,
You get angry when they come in and they tear everything you own up and dump it on the floor. During everybody knows about searches and they bring the dog in.
Take your pictures of your you may be the only child, the picture of your son that you have or something. They'll take that away.
You get angry, but you got to stay positive that there's a reason for this. And I had family members kept saying, Gary, you're going to come out of there better. And I feel like I am a lot smarter. I'm a lot milder mannered than I was before, for sure. And I'm able to deal with situations in the real world a lot easier because my friends say, you just got too much built up anger because you don't get angry. Well, yeah, because nothing's really making me angry. They think I'm just not showing it, but really it's nothing that's to be angry about. So that makes me peace a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I found I had to make peace in prison,
Yeah,
not only with God but with myself.
sure.
Myself, you know.
I learned- I learned to play the guitar because the people at the church would sing. But my friend and I said, well, what if we played the guitar with the singing? And the guy said, well, if you'll buy a guitar, we'll give you room to practice.
All right.
So we bought guitars and we started playing the Red Baptist hymnals every day. That was all.
Guitar was my thing in prison too, so I
So-
can relate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You still play?
Not too much anymore.
Not too much anymore.
More like a hammer and saw now.
But music gets you through. You know
Yeah.
that music, and I had a little band in my last couple of years in prison. I found some guys, and we had a music room, and we put a little band together. And you know, there was 4 of us. They all live in Albuquerque,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I've been in touch with all of them. And one day we're gonna have a
Showdown.
we're gonna
Yeah.
have a reunion.
That'll be great if it comes to Wings and play for us.
But yeah, I had a little prison band. But I know what you mean. The guitar, the music, church
The
services.
banjo. I played the banjo.
Oh, you play the banjo.
That's my thing. That's why that's why I don't play much now, because the family says, okay, well,
I love
we've
the
heard
banjo.
enough of that banjo.
Oh no, I can never get enough of that. Yeah? Need banjos. Let's see if I'm caught up on all the comments. I think I'm all caught up.
All right.
How are we doing on time?
So good, everybody would join you.
So I don't know. We're coming up on the hour. Carrie, is there anything that I missed that you want to talk about?
Just that if you have someone going in or you have someone coming out, remember that family support is the key. And if someone's going in, you want to, let them know that you love them and you're going to be there with them. And if someone's coming out, just take time to let them adjust and allow them to tell you what they specialize in. Help them get jobs so that they're not conflicting with what they've done in prison. Help them get a job from what they learned in the prison. And realize that a good cook in a prison is an excellent cook here.
Oh yeah.
You can cook for 1,000 people. You can certainly cook at a restaurant.
If you can please those inmates with the food you cook in prison, you'll definitely please them out here.
Exactly.
Right?
And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people right now that just are jobs everywhere. The job market is tremendous right now. People are not wanting to work, but there are a lot of people trying to hire you. Hundreds, and every home in the town needs something worked on.
I see signs everywhere, all the restaurants and everything. I just came from the Bay Area last year. McDonald's had a sign $22 an hour. McDonald's.
Yeah, that's
Here, I think I saw $17. Panda Express, $22 if you had experience.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
wow.
So it's a positive world. People coming out. There's a lot of places like Wings that you come to Wings and follow the Wings and help them build up their reputation even bigger across the world. They'll help you by giving you positive reinforcement throughout the rest of your life.
Yeah, we'll help you. The number's been on. I got the Wings number, and
Right.
it's been scrolling across your screen. It's also underneath the description of every video on this channel that you watch on the Wings channel. But you just give us a call, guys. Even if you don't live in Albuquerque, we have partners in other parts of the country and stuff. Just give us a call, and picking up the phone's half the battle, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's the key.
It's a heavy phone sometimes too, and the hardest thing to do is ask for help. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, there's plenty of people willing to help you.
But we understand when we answer on the other end, we know that that's a hard phone call and that's a heavy phone to lift up. So we understand that.
Right. That's good. There's people here that care about you.
Yeah. Any last words of wisdom for anyone out there? And we will call it a wrap.
No, just keep faith in your families and faith in yourself and faith in God, and the life it'll be handed to you. I mean, your success will be handed to you.
Gary, you're a good man. I'm so honored to
All right,
meet you.
great.
Thank you for coming on the show. Gary, come in next week. We'll get your YouTube
All
channel
right, great.
going. We'll start you. You guys, thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless the world. We'll see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. God bless. All righty.